My name is Priscilla Almquist-Olsen. I'm host of Growing Up in Easton, Community Forum, and now Snippets from Sweden. I want to talk a little bit about my 3-month stay in Sweden on the island of Orust. Orust is the third largest island in Sweden, and it is 1 hour by car north of Gothenburg. It is a beautiful island. It is a retreat for Swedes during the summer. They come from all over Sweden and Norway and enjoy the beaches and the culture and the country. Sweden, Orust is very much the same today as it was when my mother's parents, Sandra Larsson and Alma Pettersson Larsson, came at the end of the 19th century. And they came to Northeastern and lived in a house on Jenny Lind Street. Jenny Lind, of course, being the Swedish Nightingale who came to America and toured, and Americans fell in love with her. Orust is famous for its seafood, of course, and its wonderful open spaces. It's swimming and boating. You will see many, many sailboats. Most of the people who live on Orust have their own boats, sailboats, motorboats, and they're on the sea. In addition, and so when I went there, I lived with my cousin Margareta. Her grandmother and my grandmother Alma were sisters. And I have visited there since I was a student in 1962 at the University of Stockholm. I usually go and visit my relatives every other year or so, and stay for 4 to 6 weeks. But this time, now that I'm retired, I really wanted to go and live like a Swede. And so I did. I decided to go for 3 months. I arrived on July 23rd. I came home on October 18th of 2016. It was a wonderful experience, and it was very, very relaxing. And I came to appreciate the slower pace that Swedes have. As you know, they are very close to nature, and there's lots of walking, trails, meadows, and along the seashore. They love being with family. And my first snippet showed my Margareta's son Hans-Erik and his family, Ida, Karin, Olivia, and Arvid, on a fishing expedition, all together. And that is one of the highlights of what I learned in Sweden. Swedes are very oriented toward family. Families do things together. And they have time to do things together because their children are not involved in so many activities at school that deprive them of time spent with family. So Karin, who's 14, she rides horses. She's also a wonderful photographer. Olivia plays golf with her father, and she's 12. 10-year-old Arvid loves soccer. And so there is plenty of time for all of them to experience being a family together and creating memories for life. I enjoyed this less busy type of life. However, I was very busy, but I went about it in a very calm way because I was relaxed. I had no responsibilities. Somebody was taking care of my dog, and I knew that, and that was Jeannie Ebert, Mrs. E, and I knew that, and my cousin Carolyn was paying my bills, and so I had no real responsibilities but simply to enjoy life, and I highly recommend it. Probably the first time in my life that I could do this, and I really appreciated it. I was not only on the island of Orust, but I went by train from Gothenburg to Stockholm to see my cousin Kalle, visit with my old friend Bertil and his wife Inga, and to see Ava and Per being my former husband's cousin. So but for the most part, I stayed on Orust and enjoyed all the activities. And one other trip was to Helsingborg by bus with Margarita, who was on a bocce team from Orust, which was playing in national competition. Helsingborg is in the southern part of Sweden, in the province of Skåne, and people talk with a real twang. So if I were to say, "Hur mår du?" which means "how are you?" those from Skåne would have a southern accent similar to our own in this country, and they would say, "Hur mår du? Hur mår du?" And sometimes it takes a few hours to become accustomed to that dialect. Anyway, I had an opportunity while she was playing bocce to visit my former husband's cousin's family there, and it was wonderful. I hadn't seen Solveig since my honeymoon in 1965, but I recognized her right away. And little Gert, her brother, who was this blonde 14-year-old, was now a grandfather of 8. Many changes. And Alf was there to be his cuddly and outgoing self. So I just want you to know that that you will see snippets, some strung together, of various ways of life and just life in Sweden, the way it is. And I am privileged to have experienced it, and I am privileged to share it with you. So I hope that you enjoy the snippets from Sweden, and hopefully I'll be able to bring more snippets at a future visit. So thank you for watching, and all the best. And I hope maybe it might encourage you to make a trip to Sweden. Thank you for watching.